The year is the 1200s, a morning in a medieval war camp. Knights are sleeping in their tents. Some are having breakfast by the fire, and horses are calmly grazing, tied to wooden stakes. Everything is normal. Everything is exactly how it should be. Soon, armor will be worn, banners will be raised, and commanders will give their orders. Just an ordinary morning before battle, but that morning has no chance of staying ordinary. Because in just a few minutes, something will appear on the horizon that no one in that era will ever be able to fully explain. First, a sound comes. A distant, muffled rumble, like it's coming from beneath the ground. Then, the earth begins to tremble slightly. At first, some think it's an approaching cavalry unit. Others believe it's a massive siege machine. But what appears on the horizon looks nothing like anything they know. No horses, no wheels, no men pulling it. Yet it's coming, moving on its own, and it's massive, thick, solid, like a single piece of metal. As the engine noise grows louder, the horses become restless. Even before the battle begins, the order inside the camp starts to break down. Now think about it. You're in the Middle Ages. The most terrifying thing you've ever seen is probably armored cavalry, burning villages, or siege towers. And suddenly, this metal beast appears. Smoke coming out of it, shaking the ground, completely ignoring arrows. What would you even think it is? Something demonic? Some kind of magic? The wrath of God? Now let's set the scenario clearly. On one side, there is a fully operational M1 Abrams. It has a trained crew, fuel, ammunition, and all systems working. On the other side, there are 5,000 medieval knights. Heavy armored cavalry, spearmen, archers, crossbowmen, axe fighters, mounted units, all of them a serious fighting force for their time. The battlefield isn't a narrow pass either. It's open or semi-open terrain. The tank can move, see, and operate effectively. But if the battle drags on, terrain and environment will start to matter. The real question is this: can a single M1 Abrams actually defeat an army this large? At first glance, it's easy to say, of course it can, because the technological gap is insane. The M1 Abrams is basically a 60-ton moving fortress. Its armor isn't just built against medieval weapons, it's designed for modern threats. Its main gun is 120 millimeters. That means any tightly packed group of knights can be wiped out with a single shot. It also has machine guns. The crew has advanced targeting systems and optics, even in low visibility conditions. While a knight is still trying to understand what he's looking at, the tank has already seen him. Medieval warfare depends heavily on close combat, morale, and mass charges. For the Abrams, the enemy becomes deadly long before they even get close. Then there's the psychological side. This is where the first major break happens. Because the tank doesn't just kill, it breaks the logic of the battlefield itself. Knights are used to charging on horseback with courage, but no matter how trained a horse is, it won't stay calm against the roar of an engine, the grinding sound of tracks, the blast of a cannon, and a massive steel body. The moment the first shot is fired, everything changes. A sound louder than anything they've ever heard, dirt thrown into the air, armor shattered, horses scattered. This isn't normal warfare. This is a nightmare. In the first moments, some units fall back in fear, some wait for orders, and others charge blindly without understanding what's happening. The tank starts breaking formations before it even fully engages. In the first phase of the battle, the Abrams is devastating. Medieval armies rely on numbers and tight formations. The tank punishes exactly that. A tightly packed group becomes an easy target. The main gun delivers massive destruction. Machine guns cut down those approaching, and the noise and explosions destroy morale. The first charges end in complete disaster. Within the first half hour, hundreds of soldiers are already out of the fight. But here's the interesting part. 5,000 men aren't just 5,000 targets. The knights don't understand the tank at first, yes, but their commanders are not fools. They've been preparing for war since childhood and have seen countless battles. They know how to analyze an enemy. After the initial shock, experienced commanders begin to study this metal beast. They realize it cannot attack everywhere at once. It destroys everything in front of it, but cannot instantly respond behind it. It's very effective on open ground, but not as comfortable on rough terrain. This is where the direction of the battle starts to change. The initial mass charges are gradually abandoned, because everyone realizes throwing hundreds of men at a metal monster is basically suicide. Instead, units spread out. Smaller groups begin approaching. One group distracts from a distance, another moves around the sides, another tries to push the tank onto uneven terrain. By the end of the first hour, the situation on the battlefield has completely changed. At first, everyone tried to stop this machine from one direction. Now, the commanders are not trying to fight it directly, they are trying to trap it. By the end of the second hour, the real strain begins. This is no longer a battle where the tank moves in a straight line and crushes everything in its path. It has become a machine that constantly stops, moves again, changes direction, and tries to turn at tight angles. And this significantly increases fuel consumption. But the tank still has a major advantage. Horses are getting tired and struggling to maneuver. In about 3 hours, nearly 1,500 medieval knights are wiped out. The trenches dug by soldiers are too small. The Abrams rolls right over them. The trees placed in its path do nothing. Even though the army is now in smaller groups, some soldiers begin to believe this tank is the wrath of God sent to punish them. Some surrender completely, others abandon the army and flee. By the end of the 4th hour, the tank starts slowing down and its ammunition is running out. The commander's analysis proves correct. As long as they don't stay grouped together, they can survive. The commander wants to pull his forces into forested areas, because he believes this will both limit the tank's visibility and create a chance to trap it between the trees. The tank is now struggling. It has already destroyed nearly 2,500 medieval warriors, but now its fuel is running out. Even though the knights are not aware of the exact fuel and ammunition problem, they can clearly see the tank is weakening. The battle turns into a deadly game of tag. The Abrams has been chasing the knights for hours, nearly destroying all of them. But now it has used up its last ammunition. It has no function left except crushing whatever is directly in front of it. It can't even enter the forest to chase them anymore, because now it has no fuel left. And this is where the final moment comes. The tank is now motionless. The knights have surrounded it, and for the first time, they can approach the metal beast they saw in the morning. At the end of the day, the winning side is the knights. Because even an M1 Abrams can only fight actively for about 4 to 5 hours on its own. Even on an open field, even while crushing everything in its path, its fuel and ammunition are not infinite. And that is exactly what decides the outcome of the battle. If you enjoy these what-if scenarios, hit the button and subscribe to the channel. And if you don't, one of the knights is going to try to tame a tank. Spoiler, it does not end well.